I thought about what would be the most important things to say today, and I put them in 5 categories. I think the first, and probably the foremost, is we must continue to run faster. This is a race, and the race does not stand still. Nobody in the world stands still. We lead today because of the bold decisions that we've made and because of the innovation economy that we have. But we need to continue to run faster, and that means ensuring that we have computing available. I think Sam's story about Abilene is an excellent example of how when you allow the computing infrastructure to expand at the rate and pace that the private sector wants, you actually make a tremendous progress. I would also like to mention the importance of open ecosystems. I think open ecosystems are really a cornerstone of U.S. leadership, and that allows, frankly, ideas to come from everywhere and every part of the innovation cycle. It's reducing barriers to entry and strengthening security, as well as creating, frankly, a competitive marketplace for ideas. Third, we are very happy to see the focus on a robust domestic supply chain. For us in the semiconductor world, we used to not get so much attention. Now we get a lot of attention thanks to the importance of chips. And the fact is we need more manufacturing in the U.S. The efforts so far have made good progress, but there's a lot more that can be done, and that should be done in public-private partnership. Fourth, we must invest in talent. Frankly, the United States should be the best place to study AI, to work in AI, to really move forward all of the innovations that we need. And I think, again, this can also be done in significant public-private partnership. And then fifth, of course, in the area of export controls, we totally understand as an industry the importance of national security. And that is, that goes without saying as a U.S. company. But we also want to ensure, as Chairman Cruz and Ranking Member Cantwell stated, it is important to have widespread adoption of U.S. technologies. We lead today because we have the best technology. However, if we're not able to, fully have our technology adopted in the rest of the world, there will be other technologies that will come to play. They may not be as good as we are today, but frankly, usage really spurs innovation. And this is something that we certainly need to work with in public-private partnership. And I would frankly end by saying, like Sam, I had a computer when I was growing up. I grew up in New York. I'm a little older than Sam, so my first computer was a Commodore 64, and then I graduated to the Apple II. But the fact is, this is the best place to do computing innovation in the world. We want it to stay that way with really a very rich and broad ecosystem. So thank you again for the opportunity to be here today.
What are the 5 words you need to see from our government to make sure we win this AI race?
Policies to help us run faster in the innovation race.
So how do we encourage innovators, investment to happen here in America to ensure we win this race?
I would add, I think computing is a foundation to all of this. We want to have more compute built in the U.S. by U.S. companies and ensure that we have a great environment for that. We want to ensure that our technology around the world is also used broadly and in the right ways. So I think the conversation about export controls and rules should just be simple, easy to follow, easy to enforce, and enable U.S. AI platforms to be the foundation. And then certainly the comments around bringing manufacturing back home and ensuring that we have the right talent base are all extremely important elements of that.
Are companies weighing doing business in AI in America versus China? Are the companies making that side-by-side comparison?
I think if you look across the world, there are countries and companies that will ask those questions. If it's hard to obtain U.S. technology, although U.S. technology is the best, if it's hard to obtain, then there's a hunger for AI, and they will choose what is available. And if China is available, that will certainly be an outcome that we would not like to see.
In the race for AI, who's winning? America or China? If the answer is America, how close is China to us? And what do we do to make sure the answer remains America will win?
I'll answer in the realm of chips. I would say America is ahead in chips today. We have the best AI accelerators in the world. I think China, although they have restrictions given their ability to use advanced technologies, the one thing that's very important for us all to remember is there are multiple ways to do things. Having the best chips is great, but even if you don't have the best chips, you can get a lot done. So I think this conversation about how far behind China is, they are certainly catching up because there are many ways to do things.
How big a deal was DeepSeek? Is it a major, seismic, shocking development from China? Is it not that big a deal? Is it somewhere in between? And what's coming next?
I would say it's somewhere in between, Chairman Cruz. When you think about what we learned is there are different ways of doing things. So we have lots of incredibly innovative people in the United States. American models are clearly the best by far. However, when you have constraints that are placed, there are other ways of doing things. And I think we learned a few things in the process. I think the open source nature of DeepSeek was one of the things that probably was most impactful in just terms of how much can be done in an open source, type of model and open ecosystem. But clearly, the United States is leading, and we need to continue, as we said, to accelerate innovation and adoption, as you started this hearing with.
And there are a variety of views on what the rules should be concerning AI diffusion. NVIDIA has argued that we want American chips everywhere, even in China. Others have argued that we want to restrict at least the most advanced processors. What do you think the rules should be, if anything, is to replace the AI diffusion rule?
I think we would totally agree with the concept that some restrictions are necessary. This is a matter of national security as much as it is about AI diffusion. That being the case, we were happy to see the rescinding as well. And we view this as an opportunity to really simplify. Right at the end of the day, we've talked about the need to drive widespread adoption of our technology and our ecosystem. Simple rules that can be easily applied. That really allow our allies to protect our technology while still utilizing the best that the United States has to offer, I think is a good start in terms of where we're going. And again, this is an area where I think the devil's in the details, and it requires a lot of balance. And so from an industry standpoint, it's our job to put on the broader hat and work hand in hand with the administration and Congress to make our best recommendations so that it is a policy that has some stability as we go forward as well.
Mm-hmm.
偷偷告诉大家，我最近发现了新法宝 Royal Face 逆时奇迹系列，它有活肤露、全效精华，还有精华霜。尤其我皮肤比较偏干，所以我非常的注重保湿。保湿做得好，肌肤自然烹润。提亮肤色更年轻，抚平皱纹超有感，而且气色变好。用心保养，每天都更美一点。美吧。